Hi, everybody. Shannon Johnson, continuing the Elements series, and today is Earth. I was really hoping to do this outside today because it's been so beautiful with everything blooming, but we're having a rainstorm all day long, so that kind of went out the window when I got up this morning. Excuse me if I've got the sniffles. It's allergy season for me, and I'm having a whole lot of fun, but hopefully with this rain, it'll help to wash down some of that pollen. So there was quite a bit of information about the earth element, and I'm probably going to be all over the place. Excuse me. I'm going to be needing drinks today too. But hopefully the information will at least help some with working with the earth element a little bit more, or at least understanding it a little bit more. Because earth is more than being Mother Earth, Gaia, the Mother Goddess, you name it related to the earth. We've got tons of variations of what we refer to it as, but this session is really about talking about the earth energy element and how we can incorporate it in our homes and in ourselves more fully. And that's kind of the point of the whole series, is incorporating not just 4 elements, 5 elements, but actually taking it to 12 elements, incorporating and integrating all of the different teachings together to bring more of a balance in our lives. So one of the first things I want to talk about is that the archetype of the earth element, there's actually 2 different ones, and it depends on which teaching you're wanting to follow as to which one you would say it is. And to me, it's definitely both of these. So the archetype is the Great Mother, and it achieves balance. It's to be fair, and is always looking out for what is good for the whole. Another archetype for the earth element is the peacemaker. Earth is the go-between of the elements. People of this type may have a hard time saying no. And this archetype is very much about clearing boundaries, not clearing boundaries, creating boundaries, making them very clear and concise to help stay in balance and do the most good. We'll do a little bit about polarity therapy, as I've been doing with each of the other elements so far. And the earth element is actually the last one that's added into polarity therapy, which is based on the traditional Chinese medicine of the meridian system. And so to relate with those, the yin organ to the earth element is the spleen, and it's from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And the yang organ is the stomach from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. That's its time of day. You understand polarity therapy, every organ has a time of day in the rotation of the 24-hour cycle. So let's talk a little bit about those before I move into the other parts, because then it gets into all kinds of mixed teachings. So let's just get through polarity therapy real quick with the body. So the stomach channel, which is the yang channel, it functions to transform and transport food, which I mean, most of us know that. And it's to assist in the descending of qi, helping qi to go down, okay? So bear in mind, in the flow of polarity therapy for the body, every channel has a flow and direction within the body. So this one helps it to descend into the lower portion of the body and then join into another channel where it ascends the body. Okay. It's also, the stomach channel is also the origin of all bodily fluids. And that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's sensitive to the pathogenic influences of cold and dryness, poor dietary habits, conditions of excess and deficiency. And that kind of makes sense if you're thinking about when you, whenever our energy seems to be off or things impacting us, especially emotions, and we're going to get into the emotions of the earth element, that the stomach always is the one that's the first to react. We get stomach upset, indigestion, you name it, it can happen with the stomach. So I want to talk a little bit about the spleen channel. It could be, Harry. Yes. I see you asking, I have a problem with digestive system lately. Could it be what I'm describing? Yes, you can work with the stomach channel. You can Google it and see the points. And it will help you with working with those particular points to help increase the flow. And the better the flow, the better the homeostasis. Hi, Susan and Teresa and Harry. Thank you guys for joining today. The spleen channel is the yin. All right, so everything within the body has a yin and a yang to it. Always positives and negatives to keep a balance and hope for wholeness, right? So the spleen channel's main function is to assist the stomach in process of digestion. It's transportation and transformation. That is the spleen. We don't talk about our spleen very much, do we? Everybody's kind of like, I've heard the name, really got no clue what it does. It is, as far as traditional Chinese medicine, the spleen is the organ for transformation and transportation. Okay, so if you think about, okay, bodily fluids have to get transported. There you go. The spleen is the primary organ involved in production of qi. How about that shit? Qi is energy, and we're talking about physical body, okay? All of these elements have a relation to our physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental being. Right now I'm talking about physical body. So yeah, your spleen that holds all that blood that does so many different functions for us, it is also the creator of qi. The spleen also controls the blood, the muscles, and the forelimbs. Pretty cool stuff. And the spleen channel, now this one is a complicated channel, so if you would definitely want to look it up. It opens into the mouth, manifests in the lips. It houses the mind, and it's easily vexed. I like that word, vexed. It's easily vexed by external dampness, cold from climatic exposure, or dietary indiscretions. Prolonged mental strain and brooding can weaken the spleen. And I like that part being brought up because the more that we understand how our physical body works with our emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies, the better we can balance ourselves. If we are not addressing physical, mental, and spiritual distress, it manifests into the physical body as disease, illness, dysfunction, unhealthy ways, okay? So where anger hurts the heart, mental strain and brooding weakens the spleen, okay? Something to pay attention to. So I'm going to move on to a couple other areas about the spleen. Let's get into, not the spleen, Earth energy. Yeah. Let's talk. All right. So, what I love about some of these things, excuse me, is that a lot of them have multiple facets, and it really depends on the teachings that you look at. But the earth element is one of the elements that is the most common in every teaching. Greek, Indian, pagan, Wiccan, traditional Chinese, Wu Jing philosophy, Feng Shui philosophy, polarity therapy, aromatherapy, food healing, earth healing, the planet, because she also has an earth chakra, Reiki teachings. I mean, you name it, and the earth element is in every teaching that I've looked at. So let's get into some of the deets. So the color for the earth element, it has more than one color, just like some of the others that we've discussed. Its primary color is yellow. And I know that contradicts some other teachings, okay, because the earth element is related to the root chakra and the earth star chakra, which their colors are black and red, right? The colors in most traditional Chinese medicine is yellow, light brown, and sandy colors, okay? The emotions related to the earth element, the negative, or what some people want to call the lower vibrational emotions to the element, is worry and anxiety. Its positive emotion is empathy. Everybody has empathy. Whether you use it or not is a whole different story. So we'll just go there. Its sound is singing. Anytime the voice is sounding of singing is the earth element. Its sense is taste. So there again, where we heard that the spleen channel has to do with the mouth, the tongue, the lips. There you go. Taste. The earth element flourishes the lips, and it nourishes the muscles, okay? Because there again, bodily fluids related to these channels relate to the earth element in the body. Its flavor is sweet, and its season, now this is where there's a big contradiction. Its season is late summer in one teaching. But we're going to get into some more about the other teachings, because there it explains a little bit more about how the earth element actually relates with all 4 seasons. So we'll get to that. But it's traditional Chinese medicine is technically late summer. Its direction is northeast and southeast. And I know that contradicts other teachings, and we'll bring that up. Okay. Its planet is Saturn, and its shape is the square and the rectangle, which are the most standard shapes we use. Okay. Now, its primal spirit in traditional Chinese medicine is the yellow dragon. I think that's awesome. I love dragons. So let's talk about a few of the other emotions that relate to the earth element. Patience, thoughtfulness, practicality, stability and hard work. It's also nourishing, and it seeks to draw all things together. All things together with itself. Its other kind of negative emotional base is ambition, stubbornness. Yeah. I can go with that one. Responsibility and long-term planning. These are all movements, emotions, actions that relate to it. Okay? Yes, I have lots of notes in front of me. That's why I'm reading a lot. I don't try to memorize this shit. Okay, so let's talk about I don't want to do that one yet. Oh well. Okay, I guess I can a little bit. So, no, I'm going to skip that one and go and do that one later. We'll do chakras in a little bit. Let's talk about feng shui. In feng shui, the earth element creates the home base. The home base. Not home, but home base in life. It's wherever you are in life, okay? That's how you're creating with the earth element, is where you feel that base. It's the mothering quality that makes you feel balanced and secure. It's the inner place that supports your effort to care for yourself and to care for those around you. Right? And this is all, we're doing a little feng shui stuff at the moment. So things that relate to the earth element in feng shui are flat surfaces, horizontal lines. They symbolize the endless visual expanse of earth. So when you're looking at the horizon, other items feng shui wise to put in your house that relate to the earth element. I have a cat playing inside the table. People okay over here safe. Let me see. Ceramics, pottery, and brick. They give the tactile sense in a house. Earth is the most tangible physical element. You recognize the sounds. I have a coffee table that has a cupboard in the whole bottom half. And the cats have figured out how to open the door. And so Artie is inside there, romping around, and that's what you're hearing. All right. He might make an appearance eventually. They all usually do. Okay, so Earth is tangible physical. It's physical health, physical state of your home, and if you're having issues with clutter in the home or physically with weight gain, then you're needing to balance the earth energy within yourself. If it's for the home, of course, you're going to balance it for the home. But like things with weight gain, like this girl deals with, I have to balance the earth energy more. And we'll talk a little bit about foods that can help you with that as well. That will come in a little bit. Now, this is one of the things in Feng Shui that mentions that earth element energy represents the in-between seasons. Okay, so like late fall, early spring, those would be considered earth element seasons. Late summer, right? I have to make sure I don't lose my note on that other piece. All right, so it also helps to create boundaries creating boundaries. This is important because, especially for those of us that are healers or working with the spirit realm for our own, or expanding our abilities, things like that. Anybody that's wanting to work with those, excuse me, even just regular daily life, if you're not wanting to work with abilities, boundaries are essential for our own mental and emotional homeostasis. Okay, so the earth element is your best way to work with it. It's there for you to help you create boundaries. All you have to do is ask for the help. And then one of the ways that they explain it is like earth controls water, right? Because earth can create a dam in the water, right? And it can control the flow of water through the banks on the side of it. It helps to control the flow of its movement. So these are things to think of when you're wanting to consider how to balance yourself. Something else to think about as far as relating to the other elements. Earth is nourished by fire because fire creates ash, which then melts and creates metal, right? That's when it's in its creative cycle. And earth is controlled by wood in the controlling cycle. Why? Because trees, plants have roots that disturb and move through the earth, which shifts it around. And one of the points of doing this series is to help us and help those who are watching to understand how to work with the elements more in a creative cycle versus a controlling cycle. Because the more that we work within a creative cycle of flow, the more homeostasis and wellness we have. Okay? In Feng Shui, some of the other earth items to put in your home that represent the element: porcelain vases, pots, ceramic statues, paintings and drawings of mountain and hills. And these are good to put on the west, northeast, and southeast sides of the home. So even something, gotta pick it up. In the wood one, I showed you one of my wood statues. This is a ceramic statue. Big black dragon. But he very much represents the earth element within the home. So even something like this can represent it. You could also do something more practical, although I'm not very practical. This is a clock. It's a ceramic clock. This one actually is a collector's item that I had bought a long time ago. But this also represents the earth energy because it is ceramic. And yet, it's also giving a scenic view, right? And then we'll get into crystals in a little bit. Okay, back to the notes. But I thought those were great kind of visuals to give you about how to work with it. And if you notice behind me on the wall, we've got Father Forest and Mother Earth. Little things you can put in your home. Well, those aren't very little, I guess, right? But okay. Little things you can put in your house to represent the different elements. Help to bring in nice little balance. Okay. I'm a little anal retentive with my house. So something else I wanted to bring up in some of the other teachings, and I find this more in Wicca and in pagan teachings, that the earth element is related to the season of winter. Its direction is listed as north, and yet traditional Chinese medicine says no. Okay, so just bringing it up. And its symbol would be the pentacle or the stone. Its colors are brown, black, and green. It's governing the structure of life, family, and home, and career, assisting in bringing into balance the act of moving, changing, beginning, and endings. So you can see that that teaching has similarities to TCM. TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. I might use TCM a little more often to get it out of my mouth easier. But this is a newer version of the element. I tend to lean towards the older ones, the more ancient ones, because they've been around a whole lot longer. Doesn't mean they're correct, but I do like to integrate it together. Okay, so that's just one of those ones that shows the contradiction compared to TCM. Now, in Wu Jing philosophy, Earth is the balance of both yin and yang. It's balanced in yin and yang, the two. Okay. Its motion is inward and centering. Its energy is stabilizing and conserving. And its position is the center of the compass. Now, this is where I was mentioning earlier when I was stating that, the direction is northeast or southwest. Another teaching has it in the north. And in Wu Jing philosophy, which is one of the oldest ones, the position for the earth element is actually in the center, in the middle. And we're going to talk about why. Okay? One of the big reasons is because it's associated with every direction and every element. Okay? It's also related to the turn of every season, which is why it was saying about being the in-between season. Okay? Before I go into Reiki stuff, because I got a whole bunch of things off here to the side to bring up, we're going to do a little Chinese astrology real quick. So Chinese astrology related with the earth element. If you were born in the year ending with an 8, because, okay, bear in mind, Chinese astrology is on a 60-year cycle, where Western astrology is not. Okay? So Yang is if your birth year ends in the number 8, and Yin is if your birthday ends in the number 9. And it's central balance of the elements and lends qualities to all 12 animals. All 12 animals on the Chinese zodiac chart. Okay. So there isn't, like with the other ones, there were certain animals related to just one element. Earth relates to all 12 throughout the entire cycle of the Chinese astrology cycle. I'm sorry. He just jumped back in and is attacking something inside the table. Anyway, in Western astrology, though, it's related to Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are the 3 earth signs. Ignore the cat. I'm trying to. It's not so easy. Okay, so in Chinese astrology as well, the earth element is associated to the planet Saturn because of its yellow color. Western astrology associates Saturn with metal. And it, in the Chinese conception of Earth as a centering, harmonizing element with more in common with Venus. So there's another contradiction. But why contradict it? Why not balance them and use them together? Saturn and Venus related to metal and Earth, since Earth creates metal through fire. There's also in I Ching and Feng Shui, I loved this because this kind of gets into a little bit more how Earth mixes with every element and mixes with every teaching. Okay, so in I Ching and Feng Shui, they describe Earth as containing all elements, such as earth of water is wet earth. Earth of fire is dry earth. Earth of metal is another wet earth. And earth of wood is another dry earth. So you can see where the teachings end up creating Earth as the center of their 5-element teaching, where others have it on one of the points and others have it in other spaces. So in the cycle of Wu Jing, excuse me, in the controlling cycle, Earth controls water by absorbing it and damming it, and wood overcomes Earth by breaking it up. Okay, like roots break up the earth. The conducive, creative, right, the more flowing avenue. Earth produced by fire creates, produced by fire, ashes, I'm sorry, melts to produce metal. So that's a creative way that the earth element works. Okay? Now, before I get into crystals, I want to get in a little bit into the Reiki teaching of the earth element. Excuse me, I need a drink. Allergies are a bitch. So, in Reiki, we all know about the 7 chakras, right? But there's really almost 200 chakras, or a little over 200 chakras in the body. But we always focus on the primary 7, and we should really be looking at 8 and 9. Yeah. Okay. So, the most standard in Reiki is that the earth element is related to the root chakra. Okay, it's the base, the bottom of the tailbone, right? Its color is red. The purpose or function of the root chakra is the physical body. The sound it makes is lung. Okay. But it's also related to the Earth Star chakra. Okay, and a lot of people don't know about the Earth Star chakra, but it's a very important chakra that we should be working with. So I'm going to pull out the trusty old Jamie Butler chart for quick reference before I grab my book. But I wanted to make sure that I brought up the Earth Star chakra. Now its color is brown and black, so you can see how those are also earth colors in many of the TCM teachings. The Earth Star chakra, though, okay, you have 2 feet, right? In the arch of the foot, think of it, it's not half a ball on one foot, it's a whole ball in the arch of the foot. You have one on both sides. It's 2 of them. And when you put your feet together, when the arches come together, that Earth Star chakra, 2 balls become one larger one. It's a primary chakra to use for grounding. The root chakra has to do with a lot of other base emotions and physical body. Okay, Earth Star is our relation to the earth, to the nourishing of the systems. Trying to look and see what else. It does work in conjunction with the root chakra, but it's one of the ones that helps us to keep our homeostasis of the chakras alignment. Because when you're pulling from the earth energy, right? Remember, chakras don't flow just one way. We know of them with their spins, right? They spin left or they spin right, clockwise or counterclockwise. Each one has its own spin. The Earth Star chakra doesn't quite spin, it pulses. Okay, so that's one of the differences from it. And also bear in mind that the flow of your chakra system not just flows up, but it also flows down. So it's a cycle. And if you think of the meridian alignment as well, connecting into the chakra system, everything has a flow, a circular flow to it in one way or another. So if you're not focused on using your Earth Star chakra, I highly recommend that you start using it a little bit more, especially if you're wanting to do a lot of astral traveling, because it helps keep a part of your consciousness grounded to your physical essence. It also helps a lot for the root chakra to stay in balance. And the root chakra has got so much going on in it. Flight. Let me see. It also helps for the bones. And we've talked about a few of these other things. Teeth, nails, anus, rectum, colon, prostate. Okay. The root chakra is male, where the earth chakra is female. There's another balance. Okay. Your root chakra is also your primal trust and stability in life. So if you're finding you're having issues there, the root chakra and the earth star chakra are 2 powerful points to work with to help resolve those kinds of issues. And as long as you have that problem going on, you're always going to have an imbalance in that place. Okay. Let me see. Dysfunctions. Let's talk about a couple dysfunctions. Earth star dysfunctions. Lose positive energy when blocked or tired, unreasonable, poorly integrate with peers, cannot understand other people's point of view, clumsy, fall frequently, those kinds of things. That means you need to rebalance your Earth Star chakra. For root-based dysfunctions, lower back pain, sciatica, varicose veins, depression, It's also survival, social order, insecurity, unstable. You focus on material possessions. That means your root chakra is likely super active. It's in a dysfunction, needs to get rebalanced. And a lot of times we need to do emotional releasing over traumas in order to balance the chakras. So don't be surprised if your chakras are out of balance here and there in your life, because shit happens. Okay? It's part of why we're here. It's part of the work we're here to learn, part of the experiences we came to have. So don't be afraid of it, because fear also creates blockages. So working with these two chakras, you can really dive into the earth element energy and help yourself heal in ways that are much deeper layers than some of the other aspects. Now, I want to talk a little bit about some foods related to these two chakras in particular, because food healing is so important, guys. I cannot express it enough. The more that I study about it, the more excited I am about it, and the more distressed I get about it as well, because we really need to work on our food, okay? And I'm not talking about, you can't go have pizza or anything like that. Yeah, you can. I'm talking about what we're doing in growing and producing our food. We've got to address this. It's part of why we are having such health issues. Okay, rant over. I'll move on. But seriously, for my own health, food healing has been immensely helpful. So some of the foods related to the Earth Star chakra and the root chakra to help with homeostasis. Beets, cherries, red cabbage, red meat. Yes, I did actually say that. Red meat. It's for the root chakra. Red peppers, strawberries. For Earth Star, you're looking at blackberries. My favorite chocolate. A good dark chocolate, very good for you. Black beans, coffee beans, flaxseed, grains, honey. Honey is a very, very good earth element food. Great sweetener. Love me some honey. It's a really good, important one. All right. So we talked about that the primary colors of the earth element are yellow, light brown, and sandy colors. And yet in other teachings, it's the red for the root chakra, it's green, it's black, and it's white. Okay, so it's quite a mix going on. And I bring that up because there's some crystals I want to get into. But before I get into that, if I can get Mr. Artie off my book over here, because he's laying all over everything. All right, I'll show. I haven't shown this book in the previous episodes. Kind of forgot about it actually, and I should have gone to it sooner. But this is a really good book on chakras. It's called Chakras, Balance Your Body's Energy for Health and Harmony by Patricia Mercier. Okay. So in this one, she talks about, for the base chakra, I love this. It's got a little quick reference guideline of details before it gets into more of how to work with the chakra alignment. And one thing I do love about this book is that she also gets into the earth chakras and ley lines and how to work with those in relation to our own chakras. Highly recommend it. It's a great book. So in here about the root chakra, Here again, it's got combinations of teachings. So this one says that the base chakra, its symbol is the four-petaled lotus flower, and in vermilion red for a color. But this is all relating to the earth element base chakra. Let's see. Well, it does get into more of the Indian teachings, such as the Indian god and goddess is Brahma and Dakini. Its key issues: sexuality, lust, and obsessions. Energy function, stabilization of earth energy that enters the body through the feet and the legs. Now, and that's where the earth star comes into play in relation to your root chakra. It's associated with the fourth sacral vertebrae, and its physiological system is reproductive. The gonads are the endocrine gland. Its activity is generation, and its body senses smell. So you can see where that's different from other TCM teachings. Let's say it's not. They say it's taste, right? Yes. Its spiritual action is security. Now, to activate the root chakra, it says to use the gemstones of garnet and ruby. And to calm the root chakra, it says emerald and sapphire. And to balance it, it's carnelian and black tourmaline. Woo-woo! Color to calm is pink. Its metal is iron, and its planet is Mars. So you can see where it definitely integrates some other types of teachings than TCM, Feng Shui, Wujing, and any number. But this one comes in a lot more with more of the Indian Sanskrit type of teachings, which is fine. But it's got great references in how to work with it, how to balance it, especially when you're wanting to do specific types of meditation for that type of chakra to bring in the balance. Let me see if I've got something else in here. Its affirmation is, I balance my vital energies and establish my karmic purpose on earth. That's pretty cool. So that's a good way to look at it. I just absolutely love this book because it's even got it's got some really good visualizations in it on working with the chakras, including even how to work with them in your hands, different color charts, things like that. So that's a good one. So let's talk about some of the crystals related to the earth element because there's quite a selection, and I love crystals to work with, especially since I have a really hard time staying in body. So depending on the teaching, again, there's different colors. So the most common are yellow, brown, green, and black as far as gemstones. So in some teachings, you would want to look at sapphire, zircon, quartz, beryl, tiger's eye, and petersite. In others, you've got malachite, obsidian, jasper, and all shades of jade. All shades of jade. But yet, some teachings say only the green jade. So I'll leave that to your discretion. Yes, I have a sneeze. I'm sorry. I don't know if that'll happen or not. Some other ones are agate, celestite, emerald, green tourmaline, hematite, which we also saw that hematite relates to the metal element, jet, onyx, and peridot. So earth stones are bright and strong grounding power for emotional and physical sense, assisting one to gain confidence, consistency, mental balance, physical endurance and strength, and releasing negative doubts. So let's see some of these babies, because I actually do have some. So for instance, this is a black obsidian egg. And shapes are actually kind of a little bit important when you're working with crystals. It's another great book. And let me see what it says on the egg shape, because do you have to push everything off, my dear? Power of shape. Let me see. And this one doesn't talk about the egg shape, but I know the egg shape is usually related to fertility, things of that nature, but it can also be in the balls, which help to focus. Focus the power. Yeah. Anyway, moving on because I don't want to talk about that. Obsidian has the power of catharsis. So, black obsidian, okay, this is a big one. And that's a small tumbled one. Okay. So they come in different sizes, different shapes. You can find them in jewelry, things like that. Great stone. Dragon, hold the egg for a little while. Okay. So black obsidian, something I want to bring up about that one is great to place at your feet. Visualize cords passing from each foot, going through the Earth star, entwining deep into the earth, anchoring you during turmoil. Great use of black obsidian and the Earth star chakra. Okay. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up. It's a very earthy, vibrational stone. And like I said, its primary power is catharsis. Now, another great stone for the earth energy, malachite. And I love malachite. I use malachite when I'm channeling, especially when I'm trance channeling. And let me see, let me tell you a little bit about malachite, because malachite is such a great stone. Its primary power, magical transmutation. Who doesn't need assistance with transmutation of shit? Really? I do. I love malachite. Meditate with malachite, letting your half-focused eyes follow its contours. This journeying or crying stone takes you ever deeper into yourself or the future. So it's a very deep, earthy, vibrational stone. Very deep. And there again, it relates to the earth, the base, the sacral, the heart, and the solar plexus chakras. But it's a really, really fabulous stone to work with. Let's see, what else is a good? Tiger's eye is a great earth stone. I don't know if I have down here what tiger eye's power is. But we'll look. since I had the book out. I don't memorize this shit. Tiger's Eye's power of deflection. It's the hawk's eye. And you use it, you can grid it. I love this. You can grid it to attract abundance and health. And it deflects anything that's trying to absorb your abundance. So Tiger's Eye is a really good stone to work with for that. Now, we've also got petrified wood. This is one of my daily personal stones, petrified wood. Fantastic stone to work with. It is, its power is the power of the ages. Petrified wood keeps your feet firmly on the ground while you explore multi-dimensions of reality and transforms you into a soul being of light. Now you can understand why I use petrified wood on a personal basis for those that actually know me. It grounds very high vibrational stones, so if you're using a lot of higher light type of stones, even malachite, the petrified wood helps to give you the grounding energy to work with it. And it also works with the earth star, the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, and the higher heart thymus chakras, for those that didn't know about that one. And then quartz. Let's talk about a little bit about quartz. So I've got different types of quartz sitting here. I've got pointed, tumbled, and a nice chunk of raw quartz. Now I use raw quartz as well for creating the protective grid over my property, because why not? It's a great earth stone. It's a great grounding stone. It's a very multi-purpose stone. So why not use it? So I used it to anchor the grid in my home. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my tissue that the cat ran off with. Damn allergies. So those are wonderful. And let me see if I've got something on clear quartz in this book or not. Cathedral quartz. No, not cathedral quartz. I want regular old clear. No, it's not that one either. Da, da, da. Sorry, I am taking so long. Okay, let's look at quartz. Its primary power is energetic amplification, and it works with all chakras and purifies and expands the auric field. And it ranges from the earthy vibration through all vibrational levels. So clear quartz is a great one for you to work with. If you don't have any idea what any other crystal can do, clear quartz is always a great one to start with. And its primary job, besides energetic amplification, is to restore your whole being to energetic harmony and wholeness. So, great book with some details. It doesn't have all crystals in it, but it's got quite a bit. And it does show where the Earth star is down on the bottom and works all the way up through stellar gateway chakra. Something else to look at, other plants to incorporate in your home. Also plants that provide us particular foods related to those elements. But you know, the more that you can incorporate all 12 elements into your environment and into your being, the more balanced and harmonized you can be. It's also going to help your chakra system to stay more in alignment. Excuse me. So, and I love this book because it gives it by planetary planet association, as well as element association, whether it's male, whether it's female, you name it. And I use this a lot for different type of healing work that I'm doing, for reference, especially when I'm wanting to do a fire ceremony type of distance work. That way I can make sure I'm balancing the power of the plants. So let's look and see, what do we got for Earth? So some of the earth plants that are great for us: alfalfa, barley, beets, corn, cotton, cypress, ferns, honeysuckle, horsetail, mugwort, oats, patchouli, pea and potato, and yes, that's Sadie Cat's butt in the window, primrose, rhubarb, sagebrush, rye, tulips, turnips, wheat. These are earth elemented, ruled by the earth elemental. Let me see if I got something on Saturn. There you go. Comfrey, buckthorn, belladonna, elm, hemlock, hemp. It's a Saturn. Ivy, kava kava. You can see why kava kava would be one, right? Because if you've ever taken kava kava, kava kava is a relaxing herb. So some of you that have looked at different items for anxiety, depression, panic attacks, things like that, you might look into taking kava kava. Just saying. Let me see, what other ones? Ooh, skunkweed, skunk cabbage, wolfsbane, slippery elm, poplar, pansies, morning glories, mimosas, lady slipper, all associated with planet Saturn. They also have the earth element energy integrated into working with them. So another really good reference. So that's kind of everything that I have about the earth element, I think, for today. And if you have any questions at any point, please comment or message me if there's a topic that you would like discussed more in depth. I'm open to suggestions and recommendations, things like that. I appreciate everybody that showed up today and joined me for learning a little bit more about the earth element, how it works with our physical body, as well as our environment. Don't take Mother Earth for granted, guys. Okay? Thank you very much. Hopefully this helped some of you. Namaste. Have a blessed day. Bye.